Hi children, good morning everyone. Today we are going to enter into the module 4, that is the first lesson of civics on equality. And yesterday we discussed module 3. In that, equality in Indian democracy means different kinds of inequalities in the Indian democracy. Of course, India is a democratic country. All Indians are equal before law, that we know. But even though we have different kinds of inequalities in our country, in different kinds of societies, in different kinds of areas, in rural areas, in urban areas, different kinds of inequalities we can see if we have a closer look on that areas, right? So in that way here, first I will give you a recap about equality in Indian democracy. In that we discussed different policies introduced by the government, right? In that the 4 important rules from the government, that is each and every person is equal before the law. Okay, that is from President of India to domestic worker Kanta. In the first module we discussed about the domestic worker Kanta and her situation in the society. Okay, how she felt in the society, means financial inequality. Okay, so next coming to the second one is each and every person should have access to all the public places. Okay, public wells, public parks, shopping malls, markets, shops, each and everywhere, each and every person should have access in that areas, right? And coming to next one, each and every person should have equal rights. Okay, and the next fourth one is abolishment of the untouchability, right? So these are the things, and we should not have any discrimination. Based on any discrimination we should not show on anyone. Okay, based on religion, based on caste, based on creed, based on the financial background, based on the educational background, right? Based on the gender background, right? We should not show any kind of discrimination in the society. So these are the things. And next coming to the schemes introduced by the government. The government also tried to recognize the equality in the society. Okay, government also introduced some schemes. In that, the important one is the Midday Meal program, right? That was introduced first time in the South India, that is Tamil Nadu state. It was successfully running now also. And as per the year of 2005, Supreme Court ordered and asked to introduce in all the states of India that Midday Meal program. Because of that Midday Meal program, the students' attendance was increased in the government schools, and at the same time some Dalit women also got employment because they are preparing food for the children in the afternoon session. Okay, so that children also happy. And some situations in some schools, what is the problem is, who are going for lunch in the lunch break to the school, they will not return to the school again. Okay, so that problem also now solved because of this Midday Meal program. Okay, so because of that, the Midday Meal program was successfully introduced and now running successfully in all the states of India, right? So that all the children are happily having their afternoon lunch in the school only, with all the children who are coming from rich family, who are coming from poor family. There is no differentiation between that categories. Okay, all are equal and all are having their lunch at the same place happily, and parents also sending their children to the school happily. Okay, so through that we can identify the program was running successfully, and we hope some more programs introduced by the government like this, right? And next we are going to discuss about the issues of equality in other democracies. Okay, that is module 4. In this module, actually till now what we discussed, different situations, different kind of incidents belongs to the different inequalities we discussed, right? About domestic worker of Kanta, that shows financial inequality in the society. And next coming to Om Prakash Valmiki, he was a Dalit writer, right? In his autobiography Jutan, he mentioned whatever the problems he faced from his childhood onwards, right? And the next coming to Mr. and Mrs. Ansari, when they searched to the lease of apartment, that time what kind of situations they faced, and they got suggestions to change their names also. It hurts their self-respect. And one more incident, I showed one video clipping also. A small boy, he refused to take the coin from down. Okay, means he is raising his voice against the equality, means he is fighting about dignity of labor. In that video we can identify the boy is fighting for dignity of labor because he refused to take coin from the down. Okay, means we are not begging, we are working, and from that we are expecting money from you. Like that he raised his voice, and at the same time that shows the dignity of the labor, right? So like that we discussed so many incidents about different kinds of inequalities in the society, right? So next here, issues of equality in other democracies. Not only in India, actually India is a democratic country that we know already, right? And all over the world also so many democratic countries are there, and in that countries also different kinds of inequalities are there, means which are faced by the people who are living in that countries. Okay, so in that, for example, actually African Americans, the best example is African Americans. Actually here the Africans ancestors are the slaves olden days, and that continues after long period, right? So the movement was started late 1950s, and they struggled a long period, right? They showed that, means they faced the discrimination based on the color, whites and blacks, right? Africans and Americans. Here African Americans are faced so many problems in that situation. One incident I will tell you in that. Actually Rosa Parks, she is a African American woman, and she was a working lady, she was a working woman, and she is actually she is using public transport from her house to office, and long day, full day she is working in the office. She worked in the office, and while returning to the house she boarded the bus, and she was sitting in the seat, and that time one white person asked her seat, but she refused to give. Already she tired a lot, she don't want to give seat to him, that white person. This was happened on the year of 1955 December 1st. Actually this became a big issue in that. So as per this, civil rights movement was started. The year of 1964, Civil Rights Act was introduced, and as per that they got equality. Means this is the major step in their movement. She refused. Actually in that area they are facing that kind of situations, that kind of problems regularly. Okay, and even their children also not sent to the school where American children are going to the school, right? Means whenever they want to send their school, they want to send government schools only, where they have fewer facilities and poor qualified teachers, right? For that kind of schools only they can send their children. Okay, means all these things happened in America. Means they belongs to the Africa, and they referred as African Americans. Okay, this is also one kind of discrimination in the society. They faced so many problems, and finally they got equality, right? So these kind of situations, if we have a closer look on the around the world, we can find so many situations like this. Okay, women also, female discrimination, right? Gender inequality in the society we can see, right? So all these of inequalities, where actually what government is expecting, what is government, whatever the responsibilities, whatever the rules, whatever the policies introduced by the government is, all people are equal. All people should be treated by the law in equal. But the situation is not continuing in the society. If you coming to the original life, if you see the original life, real life of the people, we can find so many discriminations like that. Financial discrimination, gender discrimination, right? Color discrimination. Okay, So all these kind of discriminations we can see if we have a closer look into the society, right? So in that way here, just I want to show you some slides. Okay,
children, here see the slide. Dr. BR Ambedkar, I know you know him, right? Our Indian constitution was written by him, and here one interesting thing is he also belongs to the Dalit caste, means he belongs to the Mahar caste, right? So here he gave some words for us, that is, it is disgraceful to live at the cost of one's self-respect. Self-respect is the most vital factor in life. Without it, man is a cipher. To live worthily with self-respect, one has to overcome difficulties. It is out of hard and ceaseless struggle alone that one derives strength, confidence, and recognition. Man is mortal. Everyone has to die someday or the other. But one must resolve to lay down one's life in enriching the noble ideas of self respect and in bettering one's human life. Nothing is more disgraceful for a brave man than to live life devoid of self respect. By Dr. BR Ambedkar. And next, here Rosa Parks. I said already, I explained about her. No, Rosa Parks belongs to the year of 1913 to 2005. She was an American African woman. Tired from a long day at work, she refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man on December 1st, 1955. Her refusal that day started a huge agitation against the unequal ways in which African Americans were treated and which come to be known as the civil rights movement. And next, here civil rights movement. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, religion, or national origin. It is also stated that all schools would be open to African American children and they would no longer have to attend separate schools specially set up for them. Here we can see Americans, and next these are Africans, right? And next, disability. Actually, people who have disabled, that persons also treated some inequality in the society, right? See the ad actually. Here how innovatively they created. India sees this small letters ability with capitals. They means they are highlighting the ability in the people, not the disability. Okay, so India sees ability in you, right? So like that here India is encouraging the people who are having with special need. Actually special needs means who are physically disabled persons is considered as people with special needs. We should not be called them as physically handicapped people. People who have special needs. That's it, right? And next, here according to the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, persons with disabilities have equal rights and that government should make possible their full participation in society. The government has to provide free education and integrate children with disabilities into mainstream schools. This law also states that all public places including buildings, schools, etc. should be accessible and provided with ramps. So like this we can see different kinds of inequalities. Okay.
So children, this is the concept. I hope you understand, right? So once again I will give you recap. In this, issues of equality in other democracies. If you have a closer look on all over the world, we can find out so many discriminations like this. Okay, what we discussed now about African Americans. They faced different kinds of problems in America, right? In point of view from their children education also, and in school, in buses, in public transport, trains and buses also, they faced different kinds of discriminations from the Americans, right? In that only, actually Rosa Parks, she is a working woman and she is from 1913 to 2005. Actually, after working a long day, while returning back to her home, she boarded the bus, and in that bus she refused to give seat to the white man. This was happened in the year of 1955, December 1st. Okay, so this situation was became a big issue in that moment. The movement was the Civil Rights Act of 1964, right? As per that, means here their children also faced in that their schools. Whatever the schools they are sending their children in that schools, that those are government schools, and at the same time they don't have any fewer facilities, and next coming to that schools are having the poor qualified teachers, right? So this kind of problems faced by the African Americans. Okay, like this we have so many discriminations in the society. And one more, coming to the disability. Okay, physically handicapped people who are having physically disabled, that people should be considered as people with special needs. We should not consider them as disabled people. Okay, we have to call them as people with special needs, right? So for them also, government, for their support, for their encouragement also, government has introduced so many schemes, right? So many developments. Okay, in the schools and buildings also, government ordered, as per their convenience, they should construct the ramps and all, while to go inside, while coming outside, right? Even in the toilets also, for them separate toilet will be there, right? Like that, government encouraged them. Okay, government introduced so many schemes for their encouragement. Okay, so children, if any disabled people are there, don't discourage them, try to support them, try to encourage them. They are also same like you only, right? So this means we should not show any discrimination on them. They are equal to us. Okay, people with special needs, we should encourage and we should support them, but we should not show any kind of discrimination on them. So not only disabled category children, who whatever it is there, whoever it is there, whoever are there, right? We should not show any kind of discrimination, either caste or religion or education background or financial background, financial inequality, right? Or gender inequality, whatever it may be. Whatever it is, we should not show any kind of discrimination, because we all are equal before the law. Because our country is a democratic country, we all are Indians. Okay, that is the main concept that you have to understood from this lesson. Okay children, I hope you understand the concept. We'll meet you in the next lesson.